Oh yes, and we're live just one day before IPL 2021. Welcome to the fan debate. I have a stack team with me today. I have Mumbai Indians fan Puneet Panta. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. How's it going with you?
Everything is good. And alongside him, Chennai Super Kings fan Kumar. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing excellent. Punter, thank you so much for having me on this.
No worries, man. Our
Always
pleasure.
bro.
Kripanch, Bangalore RCB fan. What's up, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. How are you guys? I'm excited to join. It's my first appearance. Super excited.
Really happy to have you. And we have the Arsenal of IPL, Punjab Kings fan, Mr. Ashish. What's
Come
up,
on.
man?
I thought he was a Man United fan.
No, he is, but Punjab is the Arsenal of the IPL. So how are you doing, man? Is there any trophy this season?
I knew there was a joke coming when you're going to introduce me. I knew that.
So I'll start off with defending champions Mumbai Indians. Punter, what are the chances this year? Is it three in a row, or is it two? Is it done? Is the winning streak over?
Firstly, I was going to say that the Indian is
Ooh, ooh.
trying to get into the Mumbai Indians mode.
Wow,
Ah,
defending
let's
champions.
go, baby. Okay, so 3 years in a row. Well, definitely a chance because you see, out of the 11, the 4 of them are playing for Indian team and they're performing crazy. So coming back with that experience, I think definitely getting the third one.
Getting the third one. Kumi, not a great season last year for Chennai.
Yeah.
Very unfamiliar. They didn't come to the top four as well. I think every season they made the top four except for last year, but they made some good buys in this auction. Are you confident going into this season?
Yeah, I think so, Musti. So last year, definitely a write-off, in my opinion, because obviously COVID threw a lot of curveballs. Baji not being there, Raina not being there, Bravo getting injured. Some of the key players, right? Like over years, if you see Raina number 3 spot, crucial, always scoring runs. Whenever there's runs needed, Raina is always there. So these things, and I think this year, look, Jaddu back, Raina back, Shardul Thakur coming off of a high, off of that incredible Test series in Australia.
Yeah.
So all of these are definitely positive factors, and like I was saying, MSD got nothing to prove, relaxed mindset, in a retirement mode. So these guys, I think, the same thing with Bravo, only playing T20 around the world. I think they're definitely they're experienced enough, and now they're back on home turf. So I think they'll definitely I see them in the top 4 for sure.
For top four. And do you think this is going to be Dhoni's last season?
Good question, man. I don't know, to be honest. It's really up to the man, his horsepower, his will, his intent. If he wants to go serve in the army, the man will do that. If he wants to come back and play some IPL, he'll do that. And I think IPL, the Chennai franchise, is going to welcome you with open arms, whatever his decision is.
Yeah, for sure. And Krippy, man, RCB, stacked team every single year. They have the who's who of cricket, like some crazy T20 players, Kohli, AB de Villiers. Now they have Maxwell as well. Is Maxwell going to change their fortunes?
Honestly, I think Maxwell's going to be on a short leash just because the season he had last year. I think if he has like 3 or 4 games where he doesn't perform, they're probably going to drop him from someone else. Just because he plays a similar style of aggressive style like AB de Villiers, and sometimes it doesn't work having 2 of the same guys and one's performing, one's not. It just puts pressure on the other guy, right? So in that sense, I think Maxwell's going to be on a short leash, but this guy, the Punjab Wolves are behind him. He's coming into a new team. I'm sure he's coming with a clear mindset. I know last year he had some mental health issues that he wanted to address, and I think hopefully he's past that and he's coming in stronger mentally. And if that's the case, I think we'll see a strong showing from Maxwell for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Ashish, man, I really feel bad for Pretty Zinta. She comes every season, watches everything, and there were 1 or 2 games. You send us like screenshots of her getting happy and everything, but every year same problem, no trophy, top 4 as well, only like twice in their history. So what's different this season?
This season, first let's talk about the last season. I think last season we could have made to the playoffs because we played like amazingly in the last few games. But the problem was the time when we lost crucial games in the beginning. And if you remember, we had super overs. We lose by 1 run or 2 runs. So the umpire giving one short run to
One
Mayank.
shot. That was the worst.
That was the worst one. And then there was one chase in which KL Rahul and Mayank was going crazy, and that they couldn't even finish the game. We lost by 6 runs. I mean, though you look up to those points, and now you see the core is still the same. But I think they have addressed the problem of lower batting middle order. We have Prab Simran and we have Shah Rukh Khan. Shah Rukh Khan is a dominating player. Like if you see his videos, like how he tonks the ball.
The only videos I saw was in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, man.
Shah Rukh Khan came to a team and he said to presenter, "Main hoon na. Don't worry."
I think he'll definitely come up to her and say, "Kal ho na ho."
Yeah, so let's play today, kal ho na ho. Let's get this game.
But yeah, Punter, some of the players to watch out for Mumbai. Last season, we saw Surya Kumar, Ishan Kishan, everyone killing it. There's so many options, but any particular player that you're looking forward to this season?
Definitely the two youngsters, Sky and Ishan Kishan again, because the way they performed, especially in the T20 against England, was next level. Coming on a debut, especially the shot of Surya Kumar, first ball ever in international cricket and hitting Jofra Archer. Oh my God,
Nice.
what a beauty that was. So you see the confidence level between these two, it's next level. And Hardik Pandya coming in, doing the finishing work. We have Karan Pollard, Rohit getting back in form, Quinton de Kock. Then we have so many bench strength. Chris Lynn not played a single game. He performed well in Big Bash as well. Yeah, this guy
how can a team is able to sit Chris Lynn out? We see that they're winning sixes, like sixes after six, and huge ones. But this guy is out for the last season as well.
I think this year he might get a chance because Quinton late. He might get a chance because Quinton might have to quarantine for say 14 days. So maybe Chris Lynn might come in and open, or you never know, they might play an extra bowler.
Ashish, I was also reading about that. I think Kristen was also injured for the most part, so he missed like the Big Bash. The first few games he missed because of the injury. So, but I agree though. Mumbai, although as much Mumbai, Chennai, Musti, all over years that rivalry, the big clash. Here's the thing, man. Mumbai obviously has a lot of cash, no doubt, right? Even though there's a cap in IPL, somehow they figure out a way to tweak things in their direction. But here's one thing that I love about Mumbai and Chennai. Overall, they've always had solid Indian players, right? Indian strength is what builds the overall.
The best is we've backed the players since almost
over core. Exactly, the core has always been strong. But coming back to Mumbai versus Chennai Musti, here's my comment I want to make, man. If you really think about the 5 versus 3 trophies, it came down to one ball in 2019 when the Malinga ball. If that Malinga ball, Shardul Thakur was able to connect that, it would have been 4-4 by now, right? Think about it. Like it truly came down to that one moment where all of a sudden it became 5-3 and big disparity between Bombay and Chennai. But just do want to say that, in my opinion, as big of a CSK fan I am, Mumbai this year favorites just because of the way they're going, but never count out the experience of MSD and the level-headedness that he brings.
Yeah, but it's one thing I want to talk about Mumbai before I move on to the other guys. Like we saw with Liverpool, you support Liverpool as well. We saw that with them this season. They had an amazing season last year. Everyone said they could. But injuries can be an issue. If something happens to Bumrah, their backup is not as strong. We saw like the team I support, we have good backup, but sorry.
Which is that team though?
We still have good strength, but you're right. Like we don't have a good fast Indian bowler for Bumrah. We have
Bumrah signed out a couple of games last season. They lost both games. I think one was against Sunrisers. I forgot the other one, but I think that can be an issue if there's injuries.
Yeah.
True. But then I think they can balance it out with the batting. So, for example, they can get in an Indian batsman like Saurabh Tiwari and play a foreign bowler like Adam Milner or maybe Coulter-Nile. Adam Milner is bowling at very decent pace, so he might be a bowler to watch out. We also have a new South African bowler. I forget his name, but apparently he was a great bowler in the nets.
Yeah, the
My
left arm, right?
mentor Anish from Punjab has told me that Virat Kohli really struggled
In the
playing
nets.
against him. So I think it's a decent bench squad even after injuries, but you never know. Anything can happen.
You have Arjun Tendulkar as well, left arm fast bowler.
Oh, we
Oh yeah.
have
You pay 20 lakhs, you don't even know the players. You pay 20
That's
lakhs.
The next upcoming superstar.
That's
yes,
your tweet
he can
comes.
be
There's a
the
tweet comes, 20 lakhs.
if, before Ashish says मुझे nepotism से सख्त नफरत है, I would say that Arjun Tendulkar does has the capability to perform well. Obviously, Vijay
Playing in
Hazare
India.
didn't do that great, but I think he will turn up to be a good bowler for India.
Yeah, and Krippy and Kumi, Krippy, I'll go to you first. I have similar questions for both of you. Krippy, AB de Villiers, he's a fantastic player, Mr. 360, but he doesn't play cricket regularly. Will that affect his game, and will it take for him? Will it take time for him to come into form?
Honestly, it doesn't take a lot for him to get into form. It's all gonna. There's gonna be two main things to watch out for. One is the players that come back before him. How are they setting him up to finish the game? Because in the past few seasons, we've seen a lot of situations where he has to do a bulk of the load work. And I don't think he's just in that physical or mental mindset to play such long innings and where he's the only person that's having to contribute the entire time. So I think for that, he has to get good support from Padakar and Kohli. And if there is a filler between that at number three, and if these guys set him up in good positions for the entirety of the season, I think he's going to close out a lot of games for them really strong.
Yeah, I think they look
Um,
at Azharuddin at number 3. He's a
Yeah,
young guy.
that's
He had an excellent season in the Ranji Trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vijay Hazare and the Syed Mushtaq Ali. So he looks like a hitter, and I think they can just send him at number 3 and tell him to go all out, and then AB can come and handle the rest.
Yeah, that's likely going to be how it's going to go out. And if these guys perform right, they don't have to do bulk a lot. Like I mean, they got Kohli and AB de Villiers, two of the best batsmen in the world. So I'm sure the young guys feel a little bit pressure, but they can relax knowing that they have two of the best that are supporting them. Hopefully DDP comes out with a stronger season. I mean, he had a fantastic rookie campaign last year. Knock around most sports is that the sophomore season is always tougher than the rookie season because teams have a playbook on you and they know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So they try to exploit that a little bit. But he looks like a very confident young man who knows what he's doing when he's at the crease, and he plays very calm. So I think he's going to be able to pick out what the teams are trying to change when they're attacking, going against them, and hopefully he just puts out another strong campaign.
Yeah, 100%. Hunter, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Kripansh. Kripansh, batting has never been an issue for RCB.
That's
It's
right.
always bowling.
Yeah.
So you've got Kyle Jamieson in, but he's never bowled in Indian pitches. So any feedback on that?
I think the issue with RCB has always been, even if they have a small total, the batting doesn't perform. If they put out a large total, the bowling doesn't perform. It's always just been the caveat for the team that they rarely perform. Both units perform together. So I think ultimately, yeah, they could score 200 runs a game, and if a bowling doesn't perform, they're going to lose bulk of the games. Good thing is that Washington Sundar, Chahal, especially Washington Sundar, he's played a lot of international cricket recently, so he has good experience. He seems like his confidence is very high. Even with his batting form, he's doing really well. So if he's getting playing time and he's contributing with his bat, I think that's a good strength. And obviously, as an all-rounder, if you're performing well in one case, it boosts your performance on the other side. So if he's batting well, he's going to bowl well because he's going to build off that confidence. And yeah, for the Pacers, I know the main guys are going to be Mohammad Siraj and Navdeep Saini, and those guys are young guys, young bulls. I'm sure they're going to want to perform and prove to the team that they belong here. But again, a lot of it's just going to come down to like how these young bowlers perform, right? They have Dan Christian, who's a great older senior citizen. He's got a lot of experience. He can mentor these guys. He can mentor these guys. He can make sure he can help them out in tough situations because, I mean, a lot of the times these young bowlers, are really tested under duress when they're in high intensity situations. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys perform in that. But honestly, I like the young guys. I like the energy they bring, especially Mohammad Siraj. And I'm hoping that these guys can perform in the bowling side. It's better unit bowling wise than they've had in the past 3-4 seasons for sure. And it seems like their batting is a little bit more balanced now. They had a good, I mean, they finished top 4 last year, which is good, which is a bounce back from the year before, and hopefully they're looking to build off of that. And then, I mean, hey baby, if Maxwell performs, it's a different ball game. The bowlers just got to do a mediocre job, and it's these guys have got big bats to cover the totals.
One thing, Musti, one more thing for RCB, man. What I'm looking forward to is Kohli's maturity as a captain.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Over the years, he has obviously made some emotional decisions. When obviously you're in a winning position, he does good decisions, right? But it's when he's under the pump. When he's under the pump, how do you make that crucial call? How do you break the momentum of the other team? T20, that's important. So he has, I think, slightly matured, but I'm curious to see how he's going to handle the pressure for IPL.
Yeah, honestly, that's one thing I always wish that he would. I mean, it's always great to show emotions on the field. I do it as a player, all you guys know. But sometimes as a captain, when you show so much emotion, maybe you're showing your hand to the other team, right? So you got to calm it down a little bit. And that's one thing that makes MSD probably one of the best captains in the world. I mean, in the game or in history. It's just the fact that high pressure, low pressure, he's calm, cool. He doesn't show emotions. You can't see what this guy's thinking in his head. And Kohli's got to try to adapt that kind of a mindset where he doesn't show his hand too early. And if he's mature on the field, it's going to be a huge bonus for RCB.
Yeah. Kumi, I was actually going to ask you on that topic. Punter said that RCB have an issue with bowling, but you look at Chennai's bowling, you look at Pune Super Giants bowling. Dhoni made Unadkat the purple cap holder. We've seen what happened to him when he went to Rajasthan. So how much is it captaincy? Because like it's not that Chennai's bowling lineup is the greatest either, but they've won championships.
Yeah. It's crucial, Musti. I think if Dhoni has a big hand to play. Here's the thing: at this level of international cricket, they have the skill. Every single one has the skill. That's why they're in that team, right? It's the decision making in the crucial moments that really makes or breaks the momentum in a T20 format. What Dhoni does really well, and you've heard it time and time again on stump mics, is just that one little bit of direction, one insight, one small tidbit that changes the way the bowler thinks. That little bit of confidence. Kuldeep Yadav, spinning that ball, he guides him where to pitch it, how to slow it down for the batsman, how to unsettle him. Same thing for Jadeja. Jadeja is like, a monotonous rhythm bowler. He gets into the rhythm. If he keeps getting tonked, he'll keep getting tonked. But Dhoni behind the stumps guides him how to vary the pace, how to slow it down, where to put the fielder. So these little things mostly matter a lot. And I think that edge, Dhoni brought out the best in a lot of people. Mohit Sharma, let's be real, man. Who would have seen him in India shirt if it wasn't for Dhoni and CSK and what he did? Joginder Sharma bringing out 2007, the best final over ever. These little things, Dhoni has the mindset, the bravery. You need to be brave as well. Sometimes you won't get it right. Sometimes you'll get it wrong, right? But he's brave to make those right calls at the right moments. And that's what sets him apart, to Kriti's point.
Yeah, for sure. Some comments here. Milan's in the house. He's saying make sure to rank KKR in top 4. And like what Kumi was mentioning, Abu Bakr says Kuldeep Yadav stopped performing well after Dhoni left for India, so that's one thing. And Abraz has a message for Ashish saying Kohli doesn't have Rohit to support him in the IPL, so it'll be a bit difficult. Punter looks really happy after he said that.
So in pressure situations, what Kohli used to do the best was go take a washroom break and give Rohit the captaincy.
It seemed to work really well.
He was feeling injured. That's why he pulled the hamstring. And you guys know he's injured.
I really hope A.B. de Villiers fills the shoes of Rohit Sharma
I
in
think
captaincy.
I
think if you had to put someone between Kohli and de Villiers, who's closer as a captain to Dhoni, it's probably A.B. de Villiers because he shows a lot less emotion than Virat Kohli. I mean, he's no Dhoni for sure. But one thing to build on what Kumi said is that when you see a player make a mistake under Dhoni's captaincy, Dhoni doesn't really cuss him out or show any sort of negative emotion towards the player. But I feel like with Kohli, you see that a lot on the field where there's a misfield or drop catch or just poor effort on the field. Like you'll see Kohli's reaction on camera on stage. And he's just cussing out the player, right? And that never helps motivate any player.
Nobody cusses him when he's dropping catches. Virat Kohli is dropping.
Honestly, I hope he
dropped the catch, but he spent on the same thing. So
that was only one, bro. He's taking
dropping catches is a part of game.
Dropping catches is the part. Wait 1 second. Say it again. Dropping catches is
a part of the game. It happens.
Right? I didn't know that.
Anyone
I didn't know that.
I think here's the thing about Kohli, right? What he knows, what fuels him the best is his rage, right? His rage and his passion fuels him the best. But what he has got to realize is, for the others, that might be demeaning, right?
Yeah.
Like that might be putting the people down or creating added pressure for the others. Like for example, Shardul, let's be real. Shardul Thakur, bowling, batting, amazing, fielding. I don't know if I'll pick his fielding ability as the best. But in the India team, if Kohli has, like, to your point, man, when the camera pans to him and he has all the emotions that he's showing, he's an emotional guy, right? But he also needs to understand that he's in a shoe. He has to fill the shoes of someone that is absorbing a lot of the pressure, not just only venting out, right? So I think that's what that little added pressure. So Kohli has to. I think if he fine tunes that and trains that, I think nothing can stop him as being an amazing captain.
Yeah, especially in ICB, there's a lot of youngsters there. Like, IPL, you have a lot of young Indians playing. So I think he needs to be a bit more relaxed in that situation. But Ashish, man, what about your team? KL Rahul, it was handed the captaincy. Was it a bit too much for him? Do you think he did a good job? They ended the season well, but do you think, because you said they lost close games, and they did. So was there any issue with captaincy, and also the way that he batted? He stacked up on runs. Orange cap holder, he was hitting runs every game, but they couldn't even make the playoffs. So is it about the way his batting approach as well? Do you think he will change that, try to accelerate, increase the strike rate?
I think the main issue was the strike rate of KL Rahul after the 6 overs, and even in some games we see he's struggling to connect the ball, but he's hitting that odd boundary sometimes. This season, I feel like KL Rahul needs to be more open up and like say, okay, I got Gale and Nicholas Puran at my back. I need to go and perform. Mayank Agarwal should be the one. He should play like the long innings, and when we see Mayank Agarwal in test matches as well, he plays those natural shots. He'll hit boundaries when you think, oh, he's going into a shell, so he'll come out. But for KL Rahul, it's important to score big and continue the same form as he was doing in the Indian series with England. So I feel, and with the captaincy, I think he was a bit unlucky because no one has the luck of MS Dhoni. That guy can win games from any side. But KL Rahul, like as I mentioned, because we lost the games which were so close. Like even we never thought Tewatia scored that amazing innings, and he scored 60 odd in 4 overs. So who would have imagined that? But now this time he has a good team. I think he knows he's been settled into the role, and he knows what he expects from the players, and the player also knows like, oh, our captain needs us in specific terms or specific time of the game. So I'm looking forward to like KL Rahul like opening up and scoring big more runs, and other guys supporting him. And I need a deputy for KL Rahul who will be like as experienced as him. I think Chris Gale can be that guy because he has played international matches all over the world. Like he's playing T20 as well. He can give some kind of guidance to KL Rahul if he needs. Because someone
would you give the gloves? Would you give the gloves to Nicholas Puran and let him keep instead and let Rahul focus on the captaincy?
If Prabh Simran is playing, I'll give him the gloves to him, and let Rahul stand in the inner circle. And Nicholas. I know, Nick, but Nicholas Puran, if you see, he saved that catch. That I don't want him to be the keeper. I want that guy to wander off.
I think one thing
he's a good boundary rider.
I think one thing that I think didn't work well for Punjab last year is that Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul had such good starts. It never let the bottom order get experience and like comfortable with the season, right? I think there were 4 or 5 games where these guys were just killing it, and the middle order barely got any playing time. And when only like a 14-game season, you need as many matches as possible just to build a rhythm of that team. And another thing I think Rahul needs to do is he needs to show more confidence in his players. I think his body language at times doesn't look the best. Doesn't look like he believes in his players. And I know he's a quiet captain from what it seems like. So if you're not going to be vocal, at least you gotta look more positive to your team in terms of body language, right? So in that sense, I agree that maybe he shouldn't be the keeper because when you're the keeper, you got to think about a lot of other things other than the captaincy. Maybe he should just focus on the field, try to be a captain, and just have good positive body energy, and see how that works out. And if there's changes need to be made, then go for it. But I think that might be better for him because it just takes more pressure off of him, and it adds to the point where Ashish is saying needing a deputy, right? maybe you don't need a deputy, you just need to remove pressure from Rahul because, again, he's such a gifted player. Like, I think he's one of the best batsmen. He could slow the innings down. He could be aggressive, and he could change the gear very quickly. So I think it's that sense. If you just keeping away from him, you could kind of get him to take a step back, and he can focus more on just like leading the team, right?
Yeah.
Musti, I wanna ask you, man. What's up with the SRH and what's up with the foreign buys? Like, where's the core Indian strength?
Bro, this is the greatest team in IPL history. I'll tell you why. Last season, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, he got India's key bowler. He got injured. We had so many. Saha got injured in between. So many injuries. Shankar got injured. Their balance was getting screwed, but they kept getting players, and it shows they have squad depth. Yes. You're talking about Indian talent. There's a lot of youngsters they invested in, and I think this season you'll probably see them perform. I think Priyam Garg had a couple of good innings last season. So did Abdul Samad and Abhishek Sharma. I think there is scope. So there are youngsters. It'll take time, and that balance of Indian youngsters with the likes of Warner, Bairstow, and Williamson, I think it's a great balance. Now Bhuvi is fully fit. They have the best spinner in the world, I think, Rashid Khan, and they have a whole Afghani, I think, kitchen going on there, man. Nabi.
Yes.
Mujib. So they have, and they have good replacements. And also, if you look at the auction, they tried to get Krishnapal Gautam as their spinner. They knew that they needed an Indian spinner, but they didn't have the purse. So actually, their strategy going into the auction is pretty good. They get all their bases covered. But this is the type of team where they can chase down 250, but they can get all of 100 as well. They're top heavy. I agree with that. But I think the key is Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar this season. How will they perform with the bat and Shankar with the ball? If they can provide a stable middle order kind of performance, then the way Bairstow and Warner go at the top, you just need to go run a ball in the middle. You can still make 200 the way they go at the top. So I think,
So you think will play best or?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Then how will they play Bairstow?
So I would play Bairstow based on his form, but because they're playing in Chennai, I don't think they need to play Bairstow. I would go with Nabi because he'll give you that middle order option, and he'll give you 4 overs with the ball. He'll get the ball to turn. But when they move to Bangalore, when they move to Kolkata, Mumbai, these kind of grounds, I'll play Bairstow 100%. It'll suit him, and he'll go ham from ball 1. You don't need to worry when Warner and Bairstow, if they're in full form, the game will be done. That's the thing about Sunrisers. But your question about that, I think, you have to play to conditions. So when you're playing in Chennai, I probably play the likes of Nabi.
Musti, who's the 4 man? Who's the 4 foreign players for you?
Rashid, Nabi, Warner, and Williamson. But depending on the pitches, I'll bring Bairstow in. If you notice, last time Bairstow started, and then I think Bhuvi got injured. There's some injuries. They had to get Holder in. As soon as Holder came in instead of Bairstow, you saw the team was more balanced because I think they should play 2 foreign batsmen, 1 foreign bowler, and 1 all-rounder, which is Mitchell Marsh, but he's not there anymore, or Holder, I think. So I think that's how they should go.
Do you think without Bairstow they have enough batting?
Man, Saha was crazy, bro. Like he hit 90 of 50, 40 balls last season against Mumbai Indians. The only thing I'm concerned about is our
games.
He
just played like 2 or 3 games,
and they got us to the playoffs.
But that's the whole thing. He was.
But that's the thing.
Like consistent performers.
No, but that's the thing. For them, it's a system. I don't think it's who's going to play, who's not going to play. They have a typical system. You're going to go hard at the top. Your bowlers will bowl the Yorkers at the death, and then you have 1 spinner in the middle. It's the system that they play. I think people can fit into that, and Saha did fit into that. The biggest concern for me is that they're not playing Mumbai Indians in the first game. They're playing KKR because they would have spanked Mumbai Indians, man.
I think RCB should be happy playing Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians have a record of losing their first game.
Yeah, I know, man. But I think also Holder, will he not play for Sunrisers? That's going to be a big question because I think he had a magnificent season last year, Jason Holder. But just with the conditions, I'd go Nabi. I just have a couple of questions. Uzair is asking, do you think Abdul Samad is a top-class hitter? SRH massively lacks a huge hitter lower down the order. So I think he's not top class yet, but he has the talent. I saw in the last game with the qualifier, he can hit the ball. And the main thing with these youngsters coming up, Ishan Kishan, you'll say Abdul Samad, Shah Rukh Khan, we don't know yet, but I think with the IPL and stuff, they're not as nervous anymore. And there's no crowds this season as well. I think that will help these youngsters. You saw last season, the youngsters performed really well, even Padikkal.
Yeah.
So that will, I think, help them. No crowds in the stadium. So I think, yeah, he can turn out to be a top class hitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think, man? Now let's go with top four first. Kumi, who are your top four teams playoffs?
Mumbai for sure, CSK. I'm putting Mumbai, CSK, KKR as my third, and I don't know, man. I have a good feeling about Delhi this year. I don't know why, but
Delhi
I
again.
think Delhi again probably. So those are my top four, Musti.
Yeah,
Mumbai, CSK, KKR, and Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, I just want to tell viewers that the guy who said this has lived in Hyderabad more than I have. So I don't know why, I don't know why he hasn't picked. But yeah, Punter, you can go top four.
I have a question for Kumi.
Can I answer Musti that question? The thing is with Hyderabad, I feel like there are too many cooks in the kitchen with so many foreign players and the strength there. So you're always going to, as management, I feel like the management is always going to be struggling with picking the right combo between Warner, Bairstow, Mujib, Rashid, Holder, and all these guys. So the 2017 when SRH won, the reason why you won is you had a solid core strength in your foreign players and Yusuf Pathan. Yusuf Pathan was the key where he was coming in destroying that. Whenever you needed that muscle power, you had that muscle power, right? Even 2018 when Chennai won in the finals against SRH, Yusuf Pathan was deadly. I don't know if you guys remember his innings. He almost scored like a 50, like 40 something in 20 balls. He boosted like the to SRH to 175, right? So that was consistent, and I feel like that's why SRH is missing that consistency now. They have too many cooks in the kitchen, so mostly that's probably why I'm not.
You need a big hitter. You need a big hitter middle down the order.
A good finisher.
If you don't have that, it makes it difficult on your top order batsmen.
Sorry, yeah, Punter, what was your question for me?
I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Pant turning up as a captain?
I think it's an interesting move, in my opinion. Here's what I'm looking at, man. I'm looking at Ponting's brain, right? Like I'm thinking, what is Ponting thinking, right? Like making this move, and I think under Ponting's guidance, it's an interesting move. He's a free-flowing player, free-flowing thought process. Obviously, you're going to see some immaturity, no doubt. I'm not going to expect him to just be mature like any other player. You're going to see some immaturity, some rash decisions and thing, but I think it's not a bad move. Like, it's good to see. Good to see some youngsters being backed by the management.
Yeah, and Punter, your top four?
My top four, definitely Mumbai. I feel CSK will also come in this year since they missed out last year. And I'm actually backing Punjab and RCB this year to at least come in the finals so that there is some entertainment for
underdog
people
season
outside Mumbai and CSK as well.
Yeah. I'm not happy with this, but Krippy, your top four.
You don't need top four when you only need one, and the one team is RCB. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think the top four definitely RCB. I'm hoping these guys are going to move up the order. They were fourth last year. Mumbai is going to be there. I think the only thing that could stop Mumbai is a bunch of injuries and some stoppage and cash flow from Bani, but we'll see what happens there. The third team, I think I think Chennai is possible. Sorry, not Chennai. CS Hyderabad is possible, but I think that's just going to come down to how the teams manage. There's so much talent on that team, but I think they have a good leader in Richardson. So if anyone can figure it out, it's going to be him. So I think they could figure out a way. I mean, last year with a very beaten down squad, they made it, right?
Yeah,
so
Warner at the wheel, man. Like his captaincy has been next level. He's won the trophy as well.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, and I think the fourth spot is up for grabs. I think it could be Delhi, KKR, or Chennai. Anyone, one of those three could fill it. The thing with this year is going to be, I mean, with COVID, there could be players having to go on a quarantine, right? There's so many moving parts. I think all of you will agree. It's like what squads teams start off with. Chances are that's not going to be the squads at the end of the year because there's going to be so much movement with players and stuff. So I think the 4th spot is up for grabs, and we'll see what happens. It's all going to depend on injuries, how players stay healthy, and what impact COVID has, and how smart these players are being. I think one thing to look out for is young players are usually more of a loose cannon, so they could get COVID positive because they're going to go out do their stuff. So I think management's got to make sure, especially with who's got a younger squad, to make sure these kids are being watched properly and they have people watching out, making sure they're not doing anything stupid and going places where they're exposed to COVID.
I think they're in a strict bubble.
Oh, okay, that's good. They need that, yeah.
Yeah, and Ashish, top 4.
So for me, I want to see CSK. CSK is to be there. RCB, because I'm a huge Kohli fan. And then Punjab. Then Punjab. Excuse me, sir. Wait for it. Punjab.
He himself doesn't believe in his team. What can I?
I'll be realistic. We're not coming in top 2. So I'm giving you top 2, then 3. So we're coming at number 3. On this one, 4th is I'll go with Hyderabad. Because I think these guys they always come up with some plans to win the games, and especially when it's after 6 games, these guys just tune in and like they perform, and they perform against big teams as well. So I think 4th is Hyderabad.
Ashish, interesting. No Mumbai in your top 4, huh?
I hate Mumbai, man. I hate Mumbai. What can I do?
There's only one weakness in this Mumbai team. It's a very fine weakness, but I think spin bowling. And this season, you might honestly in UAE, fast bowlers did a really good job. I think it was actually conducive to fast bowling, especially the left-arm pacers, and bowled it brilliantly. But I think in India, spinners will come into action. Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar. I don't know. Maybe Punter will tell more, but I think compared to the other spinners in this IPL, they're not as good. So if Bumrah has an off day, Bolt has an off day, then relying on those 2 spinners might be an issue.
No, we have Jayant Yadav. He's a great bowler, and we saw some glimpses last season as well. So Jayant Yadav would play a crucial role because of Chennai pitches. We might not play 3 fast bowlers. We might play 3 spinners, as Krunal being an all-rounder, and even Jayant Yadav can bat as well. So maybe he'll get in some extra, energy, positive energy in the spinning department.
Musti, I agree with you though. The way to beat Mumbai, I think the chink in their armor is their bowling, and I think putting them to bat first and just putting them to defend after. I think they'll be tested defending totals, in my opinion.
Defending totals, yeah.
No, I think with Bolt and Bumrah, it's not that easy. But yeah, definitely in Chennai conditions, I agree. The spinning, the spinning strength is not there in Mumbai Indian team. But still, as I said, Jayant Yadav will get in that extra, the change of variations, the slower pace. He also bowls the quicker one. So I think there will be something in it for him.
Look, Punter, look behind you.
Look behind.
Warner वहाँ पे मारेगा जयंत यादव.
I wanted to ask you, Warner coming out of a groin injury, do you think he'll be back in form soon? Because he missed out the New Zealand series as well.
Well, when he's in orange jersey, he's a different player altogether. He's even
he's just stepping on the boundary line after taking Virat Kohli's catch.
No, that happens. Like, you're gonna have, but look at his batting in every season, plus 500 runs. And as captain, name me one captain who's gotten into the top 4 in the last 5 years consistently. There's one captain, David Warner. But also, there's backup. If he does get injured, there's Jason Roy. There's in the wings, we forgot about him. There's Bairstow if he doesn't start. So there is backup to Warner if he gets injured.
Musti, MSD did that for 11 years, bro.
Yeah, he did.
11
years.
But I was talking last 4 years. He didn't do it last year. But we just before we wrap up, we just forgot to talk about Rajasthan. Unfortunately, we don't know that many Rajasthan fans. KKR. I think Andre Russell and Owen Martin. I think is a magnificent captain. But yeah, Kumi.
I was going to talk about KKR because they're in my top 4. I think between the international experience with the Indian squad of Shubman Gill and Even Shakib coming in and looking good. I saw one of their practice matches, KKR A versus KKRB. Holy shit, man! Like some of the younger talent is just unbelievable, right? Shubman Gill was just tonking these drives. I don't know if you guys saw the practice match or not, but incredible form. Gill was in incredible form. So I think between the combination of Morgan, Shakib Al Hasan, DK is looking strong, and I think DK is one of those level-headed captains in my opinion. And one of the most underrated cricketing players in my opinion as well.
Definitely.
And Donkey Kong and just the whole thing, man. I think KKR is going to be a team to watch out for.
Yeah, KKR and Ashish, Rajasthan, there's no Jofra Archer in the first few games. They really need him back. They got Chris Morris, spent like 16 crores on him. But they have
I don't know anything about Rajasthan.
They have two winners though, Butler and Ben Stokes. They can win games out of nowhere. How do you see Rajasthan playing this season?
And they also gave away Steve Smith, so I have no clue how they're going to win it. But I don't know. They might have a different strategy. They might have thought like, okay, these guys will Butler and Cole will go out and play the natural game, and they depend a lot on Jofra Archer, how he performs. If Jofra Archer is in his song, like how he was getting those first ball wickets, getting the batsman bowled out, if he's in that form, then it'll be tough to score against Rajasthan, because Rajasthan always been a tricky team to win against. But I don't know, man. I'm seriously clueless about Rajasthan, how we as Punjab are gonna play against them, and what plan they have for us. But
for you, they just need Tewatia. That's it, one man show.
I don't know. They might open him. They say, "Oh, Punjab is your favorite team. Go open." After that game, every season they bring in stars. They make stars. Like Tewatia was last season. So this season they might have something for, I think, Mumbai or RCB or CSK or KKR. They search the talent and they bring it out. So I'm hopeful we have exciting matches against Rajasthan.
Yep. And just to wrap up the show, from each of you, one player to watch out from your team. Kumi, I'll start with you first.
MS Dhoni.
Definitely.
Of course, man. So those are all given. For me, MS is a default. There's no issues there. But I think a player to watch out for me, I'm gonna back this young kid, Gaikwad. I think last year they, obviously nervous start, but I saw a lot of, as you guys saw, massive potential in him as he started scoring those 3 consecutive 50s after. So I would say, I'm gonna watch out for him, and especially back to the home turf, right? Also, the two other youngsters, Sai Kishore and Krishnappa Gautam. To your point, Musti, I know Hyderabad wanted to get them, but Chennai ended up getting him. So I think those 3 youngsters I would definitely watch out, and especially under the guidance of the greatness. So yeah.
For me, it's also Sam Curran. I think he's the typical Dhoni player, like the Albie Morkel of 10 years ago, with the bat and ball. I think he's going to be a player to watch out for as well. But some really good points. Yeah, especially after his last innings. But punter, player to watch out for.
Sky is the limit.
Surya Kumar Yadav.
Sky is the
limit.
Oh my God, what a player! I'm a huge fan of him.
No doubt, he's an amazing player. But I want to see. I want to see how he plays Rashid Khan this season. But yeah, I think. But Krippy, your player to watch out for.
I'm gonna name 2 guys here. One is obviously Maxwell. I think Maxwell might have something to prove. And those guys are always dangerous. The second guy I'm gonna go with, probably a wild card pick here, is Mohammad Siraj.
Woo!
I think that guy walks around with swagger. If you see him on the pitch, he looks like an intimidating guy. He believes in himself. He's very confident, and I think he's a great young bowler. RCB's always had the batting. If someone's gonna get him over the hump, it's gonna be someone on the bowling side, and I think he's a player to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Please tell Virat to give Siraj the new ball.
I'll try to slide in his DMs.
Yeah, no, I think he will, because last season against KKR with the new ball, what he did was outstanding. So I think he should get the new ball.
I think the next game itself, he didn't give him the new ball.
I don't know, but I think he.
Hopefully, that's where we're talking about maturity, right? Kumi brought that up. He hopefully matures as a captain, and he does that this year.
We should hope he doesn't get the new ball against Mumbai Indians. Then you will be So
It's okay. It's okay. No problem.
Musti, one thing about Sunrisers that I like that they did well is the one man that can hit Rashid Khan is in your own team now, which is Mujib. Mujib is the only one that taunts Rashid all over the place. Dude.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Holy shit! The reverse
that's-
sweeping, the
that's-
BBL. I can't forget how he's just reverse swept. And
Oh my god, that was crazy.
that was a good one.
That's
Yeah.
a smart move on SRH.
And
Punjab has a knack of helping Hyderabad all the time. We gave him Natarajan, we gave him Mujib this time. So
yeah, but so who's the player to watch out, Ashish, for you?
for me, it'll be Nicholas Puran because last season he was hitting the ball, but in some games he was off. But if this guy goes crazy, you'll see the ball in the gutters all the time. And the second pick I would say is Shah Rukh Khan. I like that. There's a hype against with that guy coming in. If he can close the games for Punjab, we might have a future Hardik Pandya for India. So I'm keeping my hopes alive with these two guys. If these guys goes crazy, this year, trophy's coming to Punjab.
Trophy is coming to Punjab. Yeah, for me, if I'm biased, I want to look at Bhuvneshwar Kumar because I think he was. Sorry, Punter, you're saying something?
No, I was like, he made the statement of this thing. Trophy going to Punjab.
But yeah, I think for me it's Bhuvneshwar Kumar from a bias perspective. I think with the new ball and at the death, he's sensational. We saw that in the England series. But if I just look at overall, I think Rishabh Pant, captaincy, he's been the form of his life right now. Will captaincy affect that? How him and Sanju Samson are two young captains. How will they handle the senior players? That'll be very interesting as well. So I think that wraps it up. Any last thoughts, guys?
I'll add to the Rishabh Pant. I think honestly, if I'm in Delhi's management, I don't give him the captaincy right now just because he's doing so well. He's in a clear headspace. But now he's got to think. He's got to think about the entire team and how to lead. I think you have Steve Smith there. You could easily give him the captaincy. Or Shreyas Iyer, right? But the punt, it doesn't make sense right now, especially for a young guy who's absolutely playing the best cricket of his life, no doubt. He's smashing everyone, everywhere, all over the park. Why put added pressure on him, right? Those guys, you just want him on cruise control at this point. So this added pressure doesn't make any sense. But it's Delhi; they're known for making moves that don't make any sense. That's why I don't support them, even though I'm from Delhi. So it is what it is, right?
Don't worry.
What about your boy, Prithvi Shaw?
Yeah, Prithvi Shaw orange cap.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, it is an outstanding point, but Prithvi Shaw had a crazy domestic season, so watch out for him this year.
Prithvi Shaw, man, honestly, he's got personality disorder on the different domestic level. He's great. He's balling out every game, but when he goes international, I think his footwork's all over the place. His hands are all over the place. Unless I feel like it's just he just doesn't look correct at the crease. There's just too many moving parts. We'll see. I haven't seen him bat in a while. We'll see what happens. But again, if you see him dancing against swinging bowlers, it's going to be a tough season for him again. He's got to look calm and composed. He's got to minimize the footwork, moving around his hands and stuff. Because again, these guys bowl so fast. They have powerful bats. You just got to punch it, right? There's no need to dance anymore. So if he looks calm and collect on the crease, he's going to have a good season. But if he's moving, shuffling, moving his hands all over the place, it's going to be another tough season for him.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think that wraps it up. Any last thoughts, Ashish, Punter, Kumi?
I have a special question from Milan. Musti, if you can take it. Do you think if our bats first, Butler and Stokes should open, and if they are chasing, Butler should open and Stokes should be at number 4?
I would go Jaiswal and Butler and Stokes 1 down. I think, and Samson 2 down. I would go like that, or you swap Samson and Stokes just so that you change it up a bit. Because if they go Stokes and Butler, they can go ham in the beginning and finish it off. But just to balance it out a bit, I think Jaiswal is a really good youngster. He should be backed, and I think he can give those particle type starts, and he'll combine well with Butler. And Stokes 1 down, he was crazy in the India series. So that's how
I agree with Mushfi. I think Stokes is too much of a priced wicket to lose in the first 6. So I think, and it's time for our IPL franchises to back our game opener like Jaiswal. I think they took him out too early. I know they gave him enough chances, but Yashasvi Jaiswal definitely proved his worth in doing the Under-19 World Cup, and I agree with Musti. Jaiswal and Butler and Stokes in the middle order.
Yeah, I think so too. That's how it'll go. Yeah, Ashish, any last thoughts?
Just it'll be an amazing season, and like we see so many banters going around in this chat. This banter will continue till someone among us or someone outside us, like the teams which we don't have fans right now, will win.
Yeah.
But IPL is a great tournament, man. We always look forward to it because it brings all our cricket lovers together. So I'm just happy that it's back, and I'm like excited to see the great matches again.
Yeah, 100%. Here's to a great season. Hopefully, it'll end with Warner lifting the cup. But I want to see some exciting games. I think.
Lifting the cup to give it to Rahul in the final. Thank you.
And one last thing, guys. This is my first appearance on Down the Track. I want to thank the team. It was fantastic.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun. I love
Likewise.
talking about it.
No,
I hope you guys all do success, and I hope I get to be back at some point down the road. But yeah, thank you guys. Had a blast. I'm hoping it's going to be a fantastic season of IPL. I hope COVID doesn't slow it down, and we see really good cricket. And one thing I truly hope for is all the top talented players stay healthy, because those guys put on a show, and that's where the true value comes from. So I wish for best health for all those top players. And yeah, it was fantastic, guys. Thank you.
I agree. I agree,
Yeah, sorry.
Misty. Thank you. Thanks. This is my first time appearing on Down the Track as well. Thank you so much for this is an honor to be amongst some of the brightest cricketing brains that I've seen in Canada and the world. So thanks, guys, for having me a part of this chat.
No, thank you. You guys took out your time. It was a lot of fun, like some crazy analysis. It didn't feel like you guys were coming on for the first time. It was brilliant. Enjoy the games, and you're welcome anytime whenever your teams lose, especially if they lose to Sunrisers. Come on and have a chat with me. But best of luck, everybody, for the tournament, and take care. Yeah, I don't think Mumbai is going to win despite Punter.
Yeah.
You're not even
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.